Okay, Reggie, before we get started with the questions, is there anything that you want to talk about before?
Just want to shout out the Aquarius. Happy birthday to you guys for the month, January 20th to sometime in February. So those of y'all whose birthdays are during that time, shout out and happy birthday to you guys. Just want to ask the question. I know a lot of y'all, all of you anti-Tupac people have been, talking all this Keffe D coming home, free, Keffe D free and all that. Where y'all go fund pages at for the $75,000 shouldn't be too hard for y'all to come up with. All of the people that done made money, made like his comedy tour and stuff. Come on, 75,000 is all he need. Start up a GoFund, one of you supporters. Yeah, because y'all hate Tupac so much. Other than that, let's get started.
Okay. Um, Taking your advice, Suge's podcast got Katt Williams on their episode 9. I wanted to get your feedback on them having him as their first guest or their first collect call that they made.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. If I was Katt Williams or Katt Williams' manager, I wouldn't have let him do any more interviews, even the one that he did over there with Willie D. But because he's killing it, man, he broke the record, internet records, for what he did on the Shay Shay Club. Now, Suge and them doing well. They're gonna get probably about 500,000 views on their channel from that interview. So it was smart strategy on Dave Mays and Suge to do that. Listening to the interview, though, I wasn't impressed. It sounded, well, I'll tell you how it sounded to me in a minute, but it sounded, I'll ask you guys the question, and even you, John. It either sounded like Katt was there for a couple of the interview or for a couple of the questions, and they filter that in with some AI. If you really go and listen to it, because Katt either didn't want to be there at all, or they did a lot of AI with that. Other than maybe talking about that whack ass ludicrous diss song that they supposedly did. So that's my opinion on that. Hate the shit on it. No, y'all think I'm on Suge and his podcast and all of that. No means. I want him to be successful. Because as successful he get, I can get at least 20 or 30% of his views just going back and forth, correcting, agreeing with, or whatever that he says on his podcast. Plus, I'm a supporter of Suge Knight, no matter what y'all believe or what y'all think. But my point is, I think Dave Mays might have got on us, and I know he's a reputable journalist and all of that, and John would be like, no, he ain't did nothing like that. I can't wait to hear John's opinion. But sounded AI to me with the questions. If y'all go and really listen to it, I know a lot of y'all like to cheerlead alone. But now that I done brought it to your attention, go back and listen to it. And I bet you agree with Reggie. Be like, ooh, either Katt didn't want to be there, because he sure wasn't as animated as he was for Shay Shay, or even Willie D, or any interviews he did prior to that. And him and Suge had a great relationship. We thought. But glad Dave Mays did do it. They got their 500,000 views from it. And so it was worth it. It was worth the 2 weeks waiting for them to get him on. That ludicrous song? Well, okay. What's your opinion, John?
I would hope that they wouldn't do AI. I would think that Dave Mays is smart enough to not do that because Katt Williams would probably eventually come out and say maybe that he didn't do it. But to me,
Katt Williams
it
wouldn't do that to
definitely
Suge,
sounded like.
though. Yeah, Katt
Do
wouldn't
what?
do that. I don't think Katt would do that to Suge. He'll let Suge do whatever he want because, he knows Suge. And anybody that knows Suge, he's just like, all right, that's Suge. I ain't with Suge. And so I think that would be Katt's mentality to why he'd be like, all right, well, my schedule couldn't meet it. I couldn't do it. But then, and I hated I cut you off, John, because I know you're probably about to say what I'm about to say. He definitely didn't want to be there then. He did not expound on any of the questions or expand on any of the questions that I heard.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like he did not want to be there, and it seemed like, from my perspective, Suge was doing 99% of the talking, and Katt Williams would be like, yeah, you're right, yeah, and that was it. So, I don't know why that is. You know Suge better than me. I don't know if he's capable of doing a back and forth with somebody in an interview atmosphere, or if he just overtalks people in conversations. You would know better about that. But it does say it was part one with Katt Williams, so maybe there's going to be a part two. But we'll wait. We'll see.
Well, like I said, and I stated earlier with Suge, it's hard to do an interview with him because he has that dominant type of personality, and he does take over a conversation, and he's very well with it. I mean, I love listening to Suge talk. I'm a cone Suge, or whatever, Suge Knight in essence. Even though that's because we just walked the same track, went through the same schoolings, and that's why maybe I come off repeating or doing or saying a lot of things that he does or say, or his terms, because I was around him, and probably can say, other than his cellies, his cellmate, if he had the same cellmate, more than anybody. Because I was with that nigga for 5.5 years, plus in prison, 4 days a week. And 3 years prior to him going to prison? 5 years after he got out of prison, the first time. So, I'm no Suge. And so I have a lot of his mannerisms. And, yeah, I don't know. It was just something suspicious about that interview. And if Katt didn't want to do the interview, then you shouldn't have done it. That's all I got to say, bro. Because it didn't come off right. It was actually kind of boring.
Yep, I would agree. Speaking of doing interviews, though, TK Kirkland is doing dual interviews right now with segments on Vlad and segments on Art of Dialogue at the same time. I wanted to see if you had seen any of his segments on either channel and if you had any feedback about them.
Okay, yeah. I hate that they do that to my boy Art of Dialogue channel. Unfortunately, when Art gets someone, either Cam Capone posts them up, Bomb First, Reggie Wright posts them up sometimes, or they do it to us most of the time. Y'all think it'd be us, but I hate that other channels do that to each other when you don't let a guest set, for 2 or 3 months after the air and run them at the same time. It happens to Art a lot. That's why I said his name first. Not saying he does it. I'm saying that other channels does it. But TK Kirkland is good. He's a go-to person for the Katt Williams, situation. Him or my boy, Faison are the go-to people because they be big on the YouTube. I got a dude I'm going to bring out sometime next month, Scruncho. Little Scruncho, that's my boy. We're going to get our schedules on the same track and going to have him come and do an interview with us because he got some great stories about TK Kirkland where he knocked TK Kirkland out. But y'all got to remember, I'm a TK Kirkland fan. I goes back to the days when he just started off TK in the mother house. He was already kind of big. But I used to run this club in Compton and make him remember. with this dude Greg. I was just doing security, but security, if y'all don't know anything about security, security runs everything, pretty much. They just don't make as much money. But we ran this club called the Indigo Club in the Compton at the Ramada Hotel. Any baller from Compton know about those days back in the mid-'90s. And TK, Anthony Johnson, AJ, but it was a dude named Greg. Even my girl Lachelle got her break there. Not her break, but she came through there a lot. Jamie Foxx, everybody. We used to come through the Indigo Club in Compton. And TK was like the main guy that when everybody came, the crowd loved it. So I'm a TK Kirkland fan. TK speaks well. He's also positive, some totally positive shit right now, where he don't want to on any comedians or talk bad about anybody for some reason. He seems to think he knows every situation, knows about everybody. Well, I guess y'all can say the same thing about Reggie Wright. But when you've been around for so long, you tend to have ran into a lot of people that was coming up, that they made it. And so that's what TK seemed to be. But I'm going to tell y'all something about TK. The reason why I think TK on some positive, have y'all ever heard of TK been in any relationships with any females? Ever? Any females? Ever really talking about females too much? Okay. TK, we all said got blackballed for what? They said that he stole Eddie Murphy Rolex, right? His Rolex watch, and got banned. He also stole somebody's black card. He always talked about who he lived with. He lived with Von Zip, lived with this person, lived with that person. TK is a motherfucking homosexual, y'all. That's why. How the f do you get close to people like that to get to their black cards? Who does that? That's how you usually get got. But when you're laying up sleep, right? Get your watch and your jewelry. When you're laying up sleep with them. Yeah. That's my opinion on TK. And that's why I think TK's on this, don't want to talk bad about nobody, all of that. Because he's scared he's going to get exposed. Y'all heard it first from Reggie Wright. Listen to that. Yep. TK in the mother house, though. Nobody getting no freebies. Told y'all. You don't get a pass with me.
Okay. Going back to Suge's podcast with Katt Williams, can we talk about how Suge is trying to act like, or at least insinuate, that he has control over Tupac music and that Katt Williams has got 8 or 9 songs that he's going to do something with? Did you hear that segment of the podcast? And if so, do you have any feedback about, in specific, them talking about the Tupac music thing?
Damn, John. I really, really hate. See, that's Suge. That's the thing he dangles over people to get in good with them. Is that he has access and he'll let them work on the Tupac music and stuff like that. Because everybody want to get in the music business, you know. Athletes, they all want to get in the music business. You know, that's how my boy, baseball players, y'all know who found Megan Thee Stallion and all of them. Everybody want to invest money and they give money so they can be involved with people in the music business for some reason. Everybody want to be in the music business. I believe now that that's what got Katt and Suge relationship to be as strong as it was. I always thought it was for the protection thing. And Suge was just putting it down because, you know, that's when Katt was wilding out. Katt said he never was dealing drugs. Call that a lie. Katt was snorting like a mother. And I believe that's why him and Suge was connected. That's all I'm going to say there. But now I believe that's when their relationship got strong because, Tupac, Tupac, Suge was saying, hey, Katt, you want to be in the music business? Invest some of your money into this, and I got these songs that you can do this on. Suge may have reels and stuff like that hidden or something like that the estate wasn't turned over. He may, if that's what Katt's saying that they got. But you better believe Tom Wally and Molly, Alan Grumblock or any of them ain't gave Katt Williams no reels, no Tupac reels. So just like other people have reels that are floating around, Suge Knight possibly could have some as well, right? Don't believe it, but if they say that's what it is, then okay. But y'all, and this is where y'all get mad at me, especially people that I be strangling the fence. I just call a ball, a strike, a mother strike. If Suge had any rights to any music, he lost it, y'all. He lost it in an agreement with Afeni. But more importantly, he lost it when he filed for bankruptcy. Okay? So any blessings for all of y'all that's out there that think Katt Williams about to come out with a Cat Pac album and all of that, it's not happening, y'all. Tom Wally, Seth, the estate, or anybody else is not letting Katt Williams touch any music done with Tupac vocals. And to keep it real, after y'all heard that diss song, allegedly, would you want Katt Williams, other than putting some money into it, doing anything with that music? So it's not happening. Hate to bust your bubble thinking there's going to be a Cat Pac or a Pac Cat album coming out. It's not happening, y'all. Sorry. I know this is going to piss some people off. Sorry. But y'all got to understand, Suge Knight went through a bankruptcy. Death Row Records and himself personally. Suge Knight record is cleaner than all of ours right now because he has none. Unless somebody out putting credit cards and stuff in his name. So when he come home, the best thing Suge is going to have is a free and clear, judgment-free name. But he also, like Tina Turner, what Tina Turner said she wanted from Mike, just her name. So all I want is my name. I can come home and make it happen again. That's what Reggie Wright believed. And from evidence of his podcast, that he can do. Just come home. Because before Shay Shay podcast blew up like it did, keep it real. Suge podcast, that weekly thing that he was doing, was better than anything new that was out there. Now, he was only getting 2 million views a month, but he was only working 4 times a week. 4 times a month. So y'all were saying, oh, well, he kicking ball for it. Well, no, yeah. We work a little more. We have to put out episodes a little more. But we still get our 2 to 3 million views a month as well. So we're not jealous. We're not hating. We're just trying to educate y'all, keep it real, so y'all can understand. For those of y'all that's already typing the hatred, comments and all of that, then y'all just don't want to hear the truth. We're just telling y'all. Because a lot of y'all believe when Katt and Suge was on the phone talking about they're going to be a Pac or Katt album, that was factual. and it's just not. If y'all can't understand, comprehend what I just said, then I'm sorry. This channel's not for you. But for those that y'all can comprehend what I just said, I hope y'all get it. You have anything you'd like to add with that, John?
No, I mean, you pretty much covered it. I mean, I don't know why people would think that he would have control over. I mean, my comment has always been if Katt Williams has unreleased Tupac stuff, it's the same stuff that everybody has on the internet. It's not anything that people have never heard before because Suge lost control of all that. And even if they did have something, there's no way it would ever come out. The estate hasn't released a Tupac music project since 2008. And it doesn't look like they're going to do one anytime soon.
I talked to Wally, and you know it. You saw the email when me and Molly were going back and forth. When I begged her, said, man, the Bomb First community wants you guys to release that stuff in the original condition. And you saw her response was, we know what they want, but it won't be happening at this time.
Yeah.
That's their opinion, for whatever reason.
Okay. Since we last spoke, Keffe D was granted bail. You talked about it in an earlier segment. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that, but I also wanted to get your thoughts on him relieving his public defender and now bringing on a new lawyer. If you had any thoughts or opinions about the change and, of course, the bail amount that he was given.
Yeah, the bail amount, the word that was used in the bail amount, y'all go look it up. I can't think of it right now. But I know that term, and I heard it before, where it means this is a bill I don't believe that you can make, which apparently the judge is correct because he ain't made it yet. However, and so they're trying to be fair. He's been 27 years. He hadn't ran. And so the judge gave him a fair bail. Most bails for murder cases in the state of California, and so I don't know about Nevada, is only $1 million. Most people, they only put $1 million bond on you. They make them higher if you have a record, and which Keffe D does have a record, and or your crime was a little, have more evidence and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean, and the judge said it, I know a lot of YouTubers out there reporting like, because the case is weak. The judge said, no, this has nothing to do with the strength of the case or not, or the lack of evidence, even though there's no physical evidence. But I don't know if y'all caught early on, the prosecution always said, and I don't know what it is. I'm still one that don't believe Keffe D is that stupid to still have some type of physical evidence at his house. But the prosecution is saying that. But they're saying they're going to turn it over at some point during discovery. Don't know what it is. Have no clue. But they're alleging and holding that close to the vest. Now, everybody, and I heard a couple of people wanting to know who this witness is. And James is not in no witness protection program or nothing. And y'all sure enough know I ain't in no witness protection program. So y'all stop saying it's James or Reggie or something like that. Everybody knows who it is. It's that nigga Dirt Rock that the feds put into a witness protection program or whatever, or gave some money to relocate. It ain't no secret. It's one of his homeboys, the ones that set him up originally. I would caution any of you street that got some money, because I know nobody f***ing with Keffe because now he's a known rat. But if there's any of y'all that get stupid enough to want to f*** with him, like a Whack 100 or somebody like that, to make sure you got good legal paperwork with him, because I know you never did no business with him, but people has that he was working with, he's tried to set up, just hasn't gotten exposed yet. But the nigga and his son keep running their motherfucking mouths. That nigga PJ is going to get the paperwork of how he was trying to set him up when he was a free man. Keep it up, Keffe, little boy, son. Saying all this to say, the only way Keffe D is going to get out of prison, because I don't even think his wife can qualify to have their house refinanced, because even though you might have equity in the house, you still got to have a job that can qualify you for that new house payment, right? So the only way they're going to be able to raise bail money if he sells some rights. Somebody goes and sells some rights. Now, if I was in the movie industry or something like that, I might, for $75,000, would buy his rights from you. To say, how I shot Tupac, a movie like that. How the went down. What's happening to me in prison since I went to jail for shooting Tupac, or once I was convicted. So he might could sell some rights like that. Somebody might be willing to take the chance for maybe 5 or 10 years down the line to do a movie deal with him. Would be the only way that Keffe's going to get that $75,000 to get bailed out. The attorney thing, I still believe that attorney is pro bono, or maybe got $15,000 from somewhere, $20,000 from somewhere to start the case. But trust me, he's going to be asking to be off the case real soon if he's not doing it for publicity or for some type of fame, which would be a great ideal if he did. It'll be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how this attorney got on this case, or who paid for this attorney to get on the case for him. But hey, I have no problem with it. I've been telling you guys from the jump. Use that money to for a lawyer, even if it was my situation. Get me a lawyer first before you get me on the streets. Get me free. You need to have somebody that can go in their courts and exploit the laws, because I'm not saying a public defender attorney is bad. I'm not one to say that or believe that, but I believe they'd be so overworked where they don't have the time to put into a case or the money to hire an investigator to go and investigate things for them. Is what I believe is why you get a private attorney, because they'll be willing to come and hear you out. Every public defender I used to know, you know where they used to meet with the defendants at? If anybody ever been to prison or jail, not prison, jail, you know about the fish tank. They used to come down to the fish tank, and that's where they meet you at and talk to you in the fish tank. Right before you about to go before the court, before the judge on that particular day. They don't come like on TV and be sitting in the interview room with you and hanging out with you and talking and going over the case with you, pulling you out of the jail and all of that. That'd only be the private attorneys. Just trying to educate people. A lot of you people already know. But I talk to the massive, not to the minimum or the small people that already know these things. Because a lot of people haven't been in that situation. Hopefully never will be in these situations. But that's how it really goes. TV really fucks your brains up when it comes to this lawyer stuff and how the lawyers work for you. And it don't always go the way because they're overworked. So that would be my opinion for why he got the PD. The bail, hey, $750,000 once again. $75,000 with some property that's supposed to be a value at $750,000. But trust me, there are bail bondsmen out there that will work with you to help you get it, but you're still going to have a decent amount of money to get bailed out. And you're also going to need money for that attorney. especially now since you got a private attorney. Got it? All right. Peace bomb first.
I don't know if you saw this, but news had broken that Snoop Dogg declined $100 million from OnlyFans because his wife didn't approve. I don't know if you saw that, but if you did, if you have any thoughts about it, and if you didn't, just hearing me state that, what are your thoughts?
Well, did y'all ever see Snoop Dogg? Did y'all see him in Baby Boy? What female want to see that body? Y'all probably rather, a female would probably rather see my fat body than that skinny body. But here, y'all want to see some porn with Snoop Dogg? I got something for y'all. Where he took a girl, an Asian girl apparently, when they were on a trip in Japan, and they filmed themselves having sex with her. Y'all remember the video at the beginning of Midnight Love? Remember he had a little scene with her. I mean, I don't understand why Snoop, and he probably just said and put it out there. He probably never considered it. But if y'all believe everything that y'all seem to want to believe about him owning Death Row, we already know there's $200 million, right? If he go and decided to sell that. If y'all believe that, I don't believe that. Still don't believe that. Still know that not to be true. But even if he did, he can go get $200 million, $300 million for that. So no, when you're still a family man, you're in your 50s, you don't do that. I saw something where, don't y'all remember when he was snorting cocaine with Bishop Don Juan? That's what they were doing. The bishop, when he was trying to be a pimp. Why you want to be in your 50s and now all of a sudden to be a gangster or be a pimp? So that's that trying to live up to the music that you're writing about stuff or trying to put that in the air. Nobody want to see Snoop Dogg doing no porn. At least I hope not. I don't know. But, hey, he's a married man. He's a grandfather. He's a father. He got my boy C.J. Strauss, his football program, got him in, the playoffs in the NFL, doing good things with his Pop Warner League. I'm hearing he's trying to open something with somebody now in the flag football league. He was on the Chrysler commercials. He has did too well over the years marketing himself. He was doing cook shows with our girl Martha Stewart. I mean, he's known worldwide. Snoop Dogg is not just known in the nation, in the national. Most artists are just nationally known that we talk about. Or Snoop Dogg is he's known worldwide. You go to any country, they recognize Snoop Dogg. So it was smart of OnlyFans or whatever that's called to make the offer to him. But I get it. I understand why he denied it. All money is not good money. And especially while you're still a married man. And shout out Snoop Dogg, man. I know this is a bad time to be talking negative and bad about you. And I shouldn't even be doing it. But one thing I do want to say is much respect and wish your daughter a speedy recovery because that I'm going through and I know the roads that she's about to go through. I was like a stroke patient from the conditions that I had from COVID. And I know she'll be able, and she's going to bounce back from it because she's strong. And I see how she's talking about it. But my prayers is to you and your family and your wife. No matter what bullshit I talk about you or say negative about you, I definitely don't want nothing happening to any of your kids or even yourself or your family. So, yeah. Y'all give some prayers out to Snoop Dogg's daughter. If y'all hadn't heard, about a week ago, she had a stroke. But she got a long road ahead of her. Trust me, I know. But she can make it. Because y'all saw how I was 2 years ago. And I can tell you how I was 3 years ago. And just shout out and prayers to her. Yep.
Did you see the kind of paparazzi quick little interview thing that TMZ got with Harry O, where they kind of asked him his thoughts on Suge's allegations on his podcast about the sale of Death Row not really being legit, in his response? We'll play it for people that didn't see it, but I wanted to get your take on what he said.
Michael, how are you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I want to know, as the founder of Death Row Records, I want to know, okay, so Suge Knight, casted some doubt about Snoop Dogg buying Death Row and saying he's skeptical if, the transaction was legal. I mean, I want to know from you, like, can you kind of set the record straight on that?
Yeah, it's as legal as you can get. Yeah, trust me, Death Row is real. Snoop Dogg's purchase of Death Row is a legitimate transaction. And like, I just don't really like to discuss Suge Knight. I mean, like, what is he talking about and why? You know what I mean? So Death Row is a full functional business, and we're in business to do business.
I find it interesting that he's doing a tap dance like was the co-founder or a co-owner of Death Row. If anything, all he was I call him a middleman that gave vouch for somebody to give some money to Suge and them for whatever they were doing at the time. But it ain't like he had any decisions or creative control or dealt with any of the artists. And so, how would you consider yourself a co-founder of something when all you did was invested some money? So we giving stockbrokers credit for being founders in the company now? That's what I found funny about it. But, hey, all I ever seen him doing, and he do acquiesce a lot of it to Snoop, so I give him respect for that. But all he ever been talking about doing with the brand that I see was selling weed. Was trying to market the stuff with weed and stuff like that, with dispensaries, and branding it with weed, because that's all he knows. Now, the movies part and all of that he's saying that Death Row is supposed to be in, I hope they do it. Hope they do it. But they done had this for 3 years. 2 years, okay? 2 years. Super Bowl time it to be 2 years that we've been talking about Snoop having control of Death Row, right? What have we got from him? A sound-alike, a Marvin Gaye sound-alike, and a whole bunch of people walking around with fake Death Row chains. Now, Snoop doing a hell of a job with marketing the merchandise, the T-shirts and stuff like that. But that's money that's been sitting waiting since the 90s. That Suge just left on the table out of being, for lack of a better word, just overwhelmed with making money other ways where he didn't care. But that's all that Snoop did. Everybody been knowing that there were T-shirts and merchandise and branding to be made off of Death Row and that symbol and that logo. So until they do something with the label, make something happen with it, then we'll talk more about it. He's talking about TV series and all of that. The only thing he can tell us about the TV series and stuff like that was time in prison. We can go watch Oz if we want to learn his story, if we want to see what he can talk about. So it'll be interesting to see what input he going to have. He needed to stop bolstering. I know him and Snoop Dogg arguing. The relationship is not like they're trying to portray it, or he's trying to portray it. And I don't even see Snoop talking about him. But trust me, y'all, all they own is that fucking symbol. And then they changed that and put a dog in the chair. That's all they own, y'all. It's the name. He got a job. He's allowed to run it. Chris Taylor and his hedge fund owns Death Row Records. Look it up, y'all. Chris Taylor, not Snoop Dogg. Trying to tell y'all stuff, but I know you cheerleaders, you male groupie cheerleaders, gonna be jumping up and down like you know when you don't know.
I saw that you had sent me some paperwork that Lydia Harris was trying to go back and sue again. Can you talk about that? We'll show the paperwork, but can you talk about what you know or what you think is going on when it comes to that situation?
Well, she was reaching out, trying to do interviews with people. Nobody wants to deal with her for some reason. I don't know why. That's not something I want to promote because I know the real on it. But Lydia Harris filed a lawsuit suing everybody. You know, everybody's suing everybody now. That's the new thing now. Everybody on this sue, especially if you think somebody slapped you on your ass or something. But she's suing right now, suing Jimmy Iovine, Universal, Koch, E1, Snoop Dogg, Suge, everybody. They all gonna have to be in court and depositions together. That's gonna be funny. Suge gonna love that. I don't know if he's been served yet. But they got a lawsuit going on where she's trying to claim that she was defrauded all of her monies, and I think she's suing for over $500 million, like 500 something $80 that was supposedly made. Hey, I don't blame her. If people selling the way people selling quick, throw it out there and see what happens. But Lydia forgets, and I'm gonna remind y'all, Lydia settled her portion of the judgment with Suge. She got $1 million for it. The only reason that the judgment went forward because Michael Harriot did something smart. He was smart. Harriot filed for divorce for her when he found out that she was that she settled that agreement with Suge for that $1 million. And the next day, he filed for divorce. Said, hey, she has no right negotiating on my behalf. She is not my wife no more. We are, her power of attorney and everything is over while I'm here in prison. And that's what was stopped. And that's when y'all got all the audio tapings and all the stuff going back and forth. And y'all done heard me talk about Lamont Givens, the probation officer attorney that Suge had that went and was playing both sides. It was called himself Whining and Dining Lydia and Michael and playing both sides with Suge and didn't file the paperwork in time and all of that. Where, the judge, if the judge was playing fair, he could have sided with Suge. That's why Suge has always been saying that the company was taken from him wrongfully and that judgment was done illegally because he knows that they had a relationship. They were all friends and in cahoots, and they wanted the company from Suge and took it from him because he did settle with Lydia for $1 million to dismiss the lawsuit. But y'all know what happened. Things didn't go the way, or paperwork wasn't done correctly. Suge playing an attorney and didn't show up, and he got a default judgment for $100-something million where he had to file bankruptcy. So Suge got by the system, unfortunately. But hey, Lydia Harris is just reaching again, trying to see what she can get, and if she gets some money out of Universal and not Suge, but anybody else, then who am I to say anything? But y'all be hearing her probably on somebody's channel real soon coming up because she want to expose this. If she can find somebody that's willing to get involved. But as one popular YouTuber told me, Jimmy Iovine is Jewish. He said, "You Jewish, right?" He said, "Reggie, get that shit off my phone. I ain't doing no interview with her. I don't fuck with Jewish people." Y'all be surprised who took that stance. But anyway, so yeah, that's what happened. Lydia Harris about to be back in the news real shortly about filing a lawsuit against these guys. But it'll be dismissed real quickly as well.
Okay. Do you remember offhand what year Suge lost Death Row?
I believe 2008 or 2009 is when he had to file bankruptcy.
Okay. Because there, you know how Boosie always does segments over on Vlad? They posted a segment, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, where Boosie talked about Suge had come to his city in 2008 or 2009 and was trying to sign him to Death Row, and that people were telling Suge, like, yeah, this Boosie guy, he's going to be like the next Tupac, like this is the person you should talk to. So he went down to his state, met with Boosie, gave him a pitch or whatever. Boosie thought about it. Clearly he didn't do it, but I just wasn't sure on the timelines because he did say 2008, 2009, and I thought he had maybe lost it by then. But to your recollection, was Suge still trying to push the label or find a new star or recruit talent at that point, or what do you think?
Yeah, he was. Actually, I had got back with him. I wasn't involved and never heard about Boosie, that conversation, so I'll let that record stand. But I never known Boosie just to be an outright liar, because y'all know, and so we all get dates wrong. Some people probably typing right now. It was 2006 when Suge had to file for bankruptcy. I don't know. We all guessing. So the timeline could be off, but I could see Suge wanting to mess with somebody like Boosie. Y'all remember he had just messed with Juvenile, right? Yeah, y'all remember during that time period he had also. Well, we know he wanted our boy Ja Rule bad during that time period. There was a little light-skinned guy. I remember Life or something like that. I forget his name. That Suge was trying to, the kid that was in that movie Waist Deep with The Game and he was a little yellow guy. He was on that soundtrack. Little high yellow guy. I remember they did a little scene where Suge was picking him up from county jail, or he was getting out of county jail. Our producer Rockstar. So Suge was out there actively even while he was in bankruptcy. Producer named Rockstar he was about to sign. Suge is actually the one that discovered him. We was fucking with Detail at that time trying to do some stuff with some different people. So even though Suge was in bankruptcy, he was still out there actively trying to sign people or do something, because he didn't believe that the bankruptcy was valid, and he believed that the bankruptcy was going to get overturned. But more importantly, he still believed in himself and his name of Suge Knight, where I think he started trying to start another label, something Blackball Records or something. I remember a dude from up north in Oakland or Frisco owned it, and he was making a deal with him that he was going to try to create a new label. And so, just because he had lost Death Row, he believed in, and as I stated in the earlier episode, I believe Suge Knight will be able to come back and create something and start something new and start over. And that's why that corrupt judgment was given to us, where the jury was like, we just don't like the name Death Row Records. We just don't like the name Death Row. and where the people were just trying to get him to create and start something over and start over. And I do believe, I am one believe, that Suge Knight could have made something else happen, going to make something else happen when he gets out. He keeps saying he's getting out earlier. Hope like hell he does. I really do. Contrary to what y'all believe or think or hear me say. Don't want him sitting in jail another day if he don't have to. But unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be when he's 70 years of age. When people 70 years of age, I just had a 75th birthday party for my mom, and she still look good. So people that's in their 70s can still make stuff happen, and I believe Suge will be able to do that. But to say if that's true or accurate, I can't say, don't know. But I will say that Boosie say a lot of crazy shit, but I never heard anyone say he was a liar. So I'll let that stand as maybe he just got the dates wrong. Or was being tricked by shit. Or was going to be put on Blackball Records. But if y'all keeping it real, wouldn't you want to be managed by Suge Knight right now if he was out? I bet you he would have had somebody like 6ix9ine or some people like that. Probably back with Katt Williams now. As hot as Katt is, Suge could still kick some doors down, make some things happen. I believe. Wouldn't let him handle my accounting. Wouldn't let him be my accountant. I would let him make some things happen for me. I'm sorry, John. What was you about to say?
No, I was just gonna say I respectfully disagree. You say one side, I'll say the other side of the argument. My argument for why he wouldn't would be when he gets out, he's gonna be old. Even before he went in, he was unable to do anything. He had P.D. Pablo recording, hundreds of songs. He had a chance to try the Blackball Records. It didn't do anything. He had the chance to do reality TV. He didn't do it. It seemed as though, and I'm on the outside looking in, so it seemed as though he was more concerned with collecting money from people he felt owed him than trying to put himself in a position to earn money. And maybe I'm wrong on that, but
I respect your opinion, but I would say also there's different people now that are in positions and making those calls now. And so a lot of those people were intimidated or feared Suge, where now there are guys that were 20 years old that grew up on the music that he was putting out that's 40 to 50 years old, that's in these management positions that would love to be in business with a Suge Knight.
And that's a good point. Even to look at the Tupac prosecution thing, I know you had kind of stated that, maybe it's people that grew up as a fan of his, now they want to see justice. So I do see that aspect of it where people were fans when they were younger and now they're in executive positions or now they're in higher positions to be able to give financing to Suge or give him an opportunity to where he could do something. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Let me get your opinion on, and I know it probably won't go long, but it looked like Daz has stopped this podcast after 3 episodes. Now, he didn't make an announcement, say he quit, but it's been quite a few weeks and he hasn't done anything. Any thoughts on that or any opinions or any encouragement for him to come back from you?
John, as you know, this is hard. Coming up with content daily, it's not easy. And so if you don't have a team around you, like we do, and willing to be on the phone, talking to each other daily for probably not saying we sit on the phone 2 or 3 hours, but a total of 2 or 3 hours a day, running things off of each other, getting into disagreements, arguing and all of that with each other, if you're not willing to put that type of time and stuff into it, it's hard to do. And I think if he's not over there teaching us game, unfortunately, even with Suge podcast, I called it boring a couple of episodes ago. And it's because he wasn't talking shit about people, if I'm keeping it real. And you can only do that for so long. And so you can talk about people, but you got to mix it in with a little bit of education and all of that. And with Daz, unfortunately, what he have to teach us is how to make a beat, right? To tell us what you do, where's a snare, where's a drum. That's what the type of stuff we want to hear. What did he do when he was working with Tupac and all of that? You can get some views off of that. And when he was working with Snoop and all of that. But you got to be willing to do all of those different things and mix them in and know when and how to mix them in to stay relevant. And I think he was just on there just talking, and then he felt like he ran all the stories. When if he would have mixed a little of the bullshit in, and then teach us some game, because what Das is known about is bass line, that boom, boom, boom underneath the track, where Quick is more sha, sha, to tell the difference and how you get those sounds and stuff like that. And then mix it in with the little bullshit and the drama and the Reggie, I beat him up and body slammed him and did this to him and all of that. But if you're just going with that, and then how many times can you tell that story? You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's what happened to him. And he felt like he done ran all the stories and stuff. But that's because he don't have that team. He's probably not reading his comments to hear what people want to talk about or want to know about. And unfortunately, people think you can just sit in front of a camera and just start talking. And that's all it is. Before you get in front of that camera and start talking, there's a lot of homework that needs to be done. And counting and running things off and saying, if I say this, how will that come off? Or what you think about this, or what's your opinion on this? Okay, this is what I'm going to say. And I don't think he was doing that with the young lady. I don't think she was versed enough for 90 musics or 90, the industry when, in the 90s, because she might be a little bit younger to know what was going on. And that's why I feel as though that they probably felt they ran out of content. But they'll be back. Something will happen where he'll want to come and talk shit, and then he'll get some views from talking shit, but then you're dead again. You got to keep it going. Y'all been saying Reg going to run, and John going to run out of content. We going on, 2 years straight now, daily, of doing this. And we still here. I'm not saying we the number one in viewers and all of that, but in quality over quantity, I think y'all got to put us in the top when you're talking about quality. And we had our problems with sound and cameras and all of that. Well, over time, we got it worked out. I don't think there's a sound or quality that's out here that's better, in my opinion. And that's all Dad's problem will be. And hopefully he'll invest into it. The money is short, but it'll pay off over the long time. I think Daz was used to getting no big checks. Daz was able at one time to walk in the studio and demand $5,000 to $10,000 to do a beat and rap on your song and all of that. Where YouTube, that's probably all he will get for that month when he being successful. And so you got to decide, do you want steady money or fast money? And so I think that's why he's not on the YouTube as much as we would like for him to be. But he can go and make up and kiss Uncle Snoop and get his $500 a show again. And do maybe 5 or 6 shows, and he can make $3,000 that month if he can get Uncle Snoop to go and work. So, yeah. I think that's what he ran up against, John.
Okay. Going back to Suge's podcast, he, again, and we talked a little bit about it on a live stream, but he spoke negatively on people that he said were in Tupac's camp that ended up working with Tupac's enemies. Now, the editor, to your point, did insert clips of the Outlaws with Lil C's and Snoop with Puffy. But I wanted to get your personal thoughts on that. Do you agree with Suge in this instance, or do you not agree?
Well, I agree with people should defend him more, but I understand that people, see, I'm not in the business. I'm not out here trying to sign nobody or hang out with you in the clubs or anything like that. So I can just tell you my opinion. Unfortunately, a lot of, and Mutal, Napoleon, we know he's over there in Dubai and or whatever country he's in. And so he's not trying to hang out. And so that's why he can be as candid as he want to be. But I understand why my boy Noble is in a different place. Castro is just away from everything. And then Edie, he's trying to do music a little bit. He's still cool with a lot of people in the industry. And he also got a podcast that he's trying to get going. And so but I want to caution people to say he never called names. These are just people that the editor of his podcast pictures put up. And so until he called names and say names, then I would hold judgment or hold a response back if I was one of them that he was talking about. But I totally agree that a lot of people don't hold him down and speak on things. There's a lot of things that I'm disappointed that Suge hasn't covered and went in more deep to, or his people hasn't came to him and said, hey, there's this gap tooth guy or this guy out there that talking about you were just a manager. He was not signed to you. Why he's not covering that and dealing with that? And you know, I know he talked about Keisha is the only one responsible, but go more in detail into that. So there's things that can be said, but I also blame that on people who have their agendas. And what's Reggie agenda or Bomb First Community agenda is may not be their agenda to get covered. And so stuff like that is what I would like to see. But now if he's talking about getting in a car and retaliating and why Keffe D walked around for 25 years, 27 years, and nothing ever happened to him, well, then that's a different subject, a different story. Like I always tell everybody, when the went down and when it had just went down, people knew the area that it was in, where the guys were from. And just like in gang wars, you just go and shoot up the area. You very rarely get the person that actually do it or did it. But you let that hood or that neighborhood knows. It's how they deal with it, unfortunately. I know it's fucked up. You're supposed to get the person that actually did it. But that's what went down. But just as we went in hiding, because y'all know where we was at. Now, Suge's excuse or his statement would be, well, the reason why we went into hiding, because we had to get work done. We had to go to the Bahamas. You know, if y'all saying, what do you mean? We was in the Bahamas a month later after that, you know, while all of that heat was going on. But that was because Suge had to make his money still. He had 4 albums that had been turned in for that quarter and the soundtrack that he was working on trying to get completed. He still had a business. He still had contractual obligations and family members to take care of. So I say all that to say they were in hiding as well. But then y'all say, okay, well, then he came out in 98. Y'all got to understand, Keffe D went to jail, prison, and all of that. Plus, Suge was in prison. The raise had happened. Unfortunately, yes, people moved on with their life. After the raise happened, 10 to 13 people got shot in retaliation between the South Sides and the mob and the looter guys. But I think people felt a little vindicated from the West Side on March the 9th. And that's why I think the war definitely stopped and ended there.
And to your point about you wish Suge would speak more on people accusing him of just being a manager and Tupac not being signed. Basically, you would love to see Suge respond to Del Rey's accusations about Tupac's position with the... Okay, fair enough.
Him or anyone else that speaks that. I think even
this,
I guess that's about the only one that pushed that agenda.
Passed,
but yeah, for him and
whoever
whoever else that pushed that agenda.
After he passed
Correct.
I Am Mad at You music video came out. Can you talk a little bit about why that because I added it up the other day and he did 6 music videos for All Eyes on Me. Now not every one of them came out while he was alive, but when it comes to the videos like I Am Mad at You and All About You, why those came out later as opposed to when he was actually pushing or promoting the album. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, he didn't like it. He didn't like I Ain't Mad at You at all. He didn't like, I think he had a change of heart of that video idea or how it came off or maybe wanted to add more to it or something like that. I don't know, but I know he didn't care for that particular video. Maybe he didn't like the song. Maybe he had got word that Daddy was gay and he didn't want to be on the video with Daddy. I don't know. I'm just joking, Daddy. Don't get mad at your boy. But hey, I don't know what his reasons was, but he didn't like that video. But I do remember us being in the Bahamas or maybe in Florida. But us being in the back of the limo, and Reggie motherfucking Wright, because I was at all the video shoots. Don't know if Suge was at all the video shoots or what. But I said, hey, man, that video would be perfect to put out right now during this time. That I Ain't Mad at You video because Pac was already dead. And to play in on that theme, like his being greeting into heaven. And so I'm not saying that Suge wasn't already thinking that way or already knew or having his mind, but if Suge Knight keep it motherfucking real, he knew I would want to mention that to him before that video came out, and I really do believe that's why that video came out at the time that it did and went on and came out and turned out not to have been such a bad video in my opinion. And so yeah, but that was the reason why some things got held. I know the Made video was eventually put out on a soundtrack. I'm not sure if that was supposed to be an Outlaws video or if it was meant to be for the soundtrack. Can't sit up here and say for sure today the thinking on that. Y'all know the three different versions of How Do You Want It? The BET version we used to call it, the MTV versions we called it, and then the late night videos or the X-ray video that we call it. And then they also did a How Do You Want It video. And as I remember, it was just like Toss It Up. Everybody always say the Toss It Up video was done the day after. Well, that's because y'all don't know. The Toss It Up video was done 2 times. We shot Toss It Up videos like sometime in June or July. And that's when y'all see that footage that Bomb first posted up, had exclusive of when they all got drunk and started talking shit, and they couldn't finish the video anymore because everybody was just toasted. And then they did the reshoot. That's the video that Danny always says in his interviews that they did a day before, but it was actually that week of when they got back from New York that they started filming that, like that Thursday or that Friday, because I also remember and know that they were in the studio with Damon Thomas that Friday, finishing those songs on All Out, for the Mike Tyson entry song and all of that. And so, but hey, y'all gotta forgive people on timelines and stuff like that, because y'all gotta remember this stuff was 27 years ago, when we speaking on being off of a day or two or stuff like that. And so, but yeah, to John's point, there were videos that were going to be scrapped, just like there were songs that were going to be scrapped that eventually made it out. Because if y'all know anything, if y'all see anything from the footages that's been getting posted, leaked here and there, Tupac was serious about his craft, and he was a workaholic. And the real reason, though, that so many videos were done, I know y'all say, oh, because he was trying to hurry up and fulfill this contract with Death Row and all of that. No. We all forget Tupac could have went back to jail any day, y'all. Prison. And so that's why he was working so hard in the studio and videos and movies and stuff like that. Because we were very optimistic and prayerful, but we all forget Tupac still had about 2 more years left on that 4-year sentence that he was given, where he was just out on an appeal bond. So when y'all hearing these stories and hearing people tell their stories and their versions, let's also keep that in mind to a lot of things that were going on and where Pac's head was during that time period and why it appears that he was moving so fast to get stuff done. Yeah.
Okay, can you give me your opinion on, in Suge's podcast, he talked about how every Tupac album was successful except for the one that Eminem did, which I don't know sales-wise, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but I do know from a community standpoint of a Tupac fan base, that was received as the worst album. Number one, do you agree with that statement? And number two, do you think that that was a bad idea in hindsight to let Eminem control the Tupac album?
Wasn't a bad idea because Eminem was hot at the time, right? He was the hottest thing on the planet. Early 2000s to mid 2000s, right? He was Interscope's baby. That was their boy. Now, to your point, and most people's point, is not known as a producer like that, and he had a different style or a different flow than Pac did. Different style of music. So why would you have somebody that, playing basketball, coaching a football team, or an analogy like that? Just because you an athlete or you're a musician, don't mean you know how to do that type of, be that type of athlete. Is my point. I would have took the chance because if you would have got a percentage of M's, fans over with Pac current fans, man, y'all just don't know how M was considered in the industry at that time. Still to this day, in most people's opinion, think he still holds records as far as music sales, if Drake hasn't broke them yet. So I get why Interscope went that route. Do I agree? No. Well, I mean, I would have liked to seen somebody like, I'm not even happy with the person that Suge had me put in charge of that, meaning Hutch. No disrespect to Hutch, but Battle Cat was hot at the time, but he was with Snoop, so we couldn't do that. But there were other producers at that time that were hot that could have, or even Das, but we wasn't fucking with Das no more. You know, that could have probably been more on this, you know, why we didn't go and get Johnny J. I know some of y'all would say, because I keep trying to tell y'all, Johnny J was a sampler. He was a beat maker. It would have been nice to see what Quick could have done. He knew how Pac think and all of that. Wish Edie was older or more mature than in his producing ability, because he was around Pac. He might have could have even produced a better Tupac album than what M did. Who knows? But because of the numbers and definitely but now y'all have no problem with Alan Hughes messing with Tupac on documentary, so I guess we could have fucked with Dre and had Dre do it. But I really believe that was Interscope hope. Was we know we can't have Dre on it because of how Tupac felt about Dre. That maybe Dre was going to go in there and really was the one quarterback in it. I really think that was their hope. But their main thing was, as long as Suge and Death Row, let's buy them out, because that's what happened. Or was that music that was just done that Interscope had? Was any of that Death Row music, or was that the Interscope?
Yeah, it was all previous to Death Row except for. No, all of that actually, now I'm thinking about it, all of that was pre-Death Row.
So that's why Suge allowed that to go down there. Because that was stuff that was done under Interscope watch and Tom Wally watch. So, yeah, that makes sense. Because I couldn't see even Suge still allowing that to happen, no matter how hot M was. Because Suge still had some say-so. And so that makes sense to why that album was done. So y'all wondering which albums were done that Suge had no control over, that would have been that particular album and Are You Still Down album. Suge had no say-so over that album. And then the stuff that the mom did with the poetry, Suge had no say-so over that. Yeah. So if I answered the question, I'll try to recap it to why I believe or what I think. I mean, I'm not a big Tupac music song or stuff like that. I still don't even know why Sugar even allowed L.T. Hutton to do the one that he did. I believe that was Loyal to the Game. I don't even know how that.
The one LT did was Pac's Life. The Eminem one was Loyal to the Game.
So the Pac Life one. Yeah, I can't say why, other than I know the one with him was all Interscope, and he was Interscope star at the time. So, but what would happen if a Swiss Beats or our boy from Trackmasters or somebody like that would have got on it? It would have been, I might have respected it or liked it more. But y'all got to remember, this stuff that y'all comparing and talking about was always considered Tupac's garbage, his throwaways, stuff that he passed on, he didn't want to do. Because you put your best on, you put your best out, put it out first. And that's why he never put it out, because he didn't care for it.